Hello, my fellow Nigerians. Hear what Dr. Joseph Onoh is saying. He said Ojukwu didn't reconcile with Gowon. It was a condolence visit, says Onoh. Brother-in-law of the late Biafran leader, Dr. Joseph Onoh, has said that contrary to General Yakubu Gowon's claim that he reconciled with the late Nkemba Nnewi Odumegwu Ojukwu, noting that there was no such reconciliation. Onoh rather maintained that the meeting Gowon claims to be reconciliation meeting was a condolence visit by Gowon when his father and Ojukwu's father-in-law, His Excellency Chief C.C. Onoh, passed on in 2009. Onoh said that Gowon interchanged a condolence visit with reconciliation, noting that because Gowon has started telling lies, the former head of state would need subsequent lies to go on with his jaundiced narratives. According to Onoh, Gowon's narration of his meeting with Ojukwu is a lie. That wasn't how it happened because I was there, and it wasn't in London. Rather, it was in Enugu in March 2010, and I received him. Part of the reason for this visit was to pay condolence to the passing of my father, who is Ikemba Ojukwu's father-in-law, who passed on in May 2009. But Gowon was not in the country and couldn't make it for the burial. I was present in the meeting. I served him, and he told me he doesn't take alcoholic drinks and opted for water or orange juice. He brought up the importance of reconciliation, and Ojukwu made it clear that he holds no grudge against him, and that as soldiers they did what they believed was best at that time for their country, and that he, Ojukwu, doesn't support another Biafra that will be achieved with bloodshed and massacre of the Igbo. Gowon left, and Ojukwu promised to honor him with a visit, and he said he was most likely to be out of the country, and Ojukwu replied, "Even during the Civil War, I knew your every movement and location, and since I have promised to honor you with a visit as you did me, I will find you even if you are in the moon." We all laughed and escorted him out. Ojukwu said a closing meeting in Latin at the amazements of everyone present, including Gowon. We admired the two men that their actions shaped Nigeria. Ojukwu was fluent in Hausa, French, Yoruba, English, Latin, and Igbo, and in every way his image and oratory dominated the moment. Hence, I understand the reason why General Yakubu Gowon is attempting to change history by giving a wrong narrative of events. He, Gowon, have always suffered an extreme high level of inferiority complex around the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, and even in death, he is unable to rise above that shackles of inferiority, which was still manifest in his condolence message and tribute to Ikemba Odumegwu Ojukwu. On the London meeting between Ojukwu and Gowon, Onoh disclosed that Gowon exhibited his highest form of insecurity with Ojukwu, particularly when Gowon noticed that Ojukwu's biographer, author Frederick Forsyth, was in the vicinity of their meeting in London, in a London hotel. It was 2 months after Easter of 2010 that Ikemba said that since we were in London, let's pay a visit to General Gowon. And I recall asking him, Ezegbo, who do we call to get his address or phone number? He smiled and said, I have it right here in my pocket. I was the one that called using my T-Mobile phone, T-Mobile UK number. Gowon's wife picked up and I informed her to hold on to speak with Ojukwu. The chat was brief and Ikemba said, we should proceed to the hotel. It was 2 days later, at about 4 p.m., that General Gowon came, and I am amazed at all his narration of how if he was going to be assassinated and other nonsense, like a James Bond fiction movie. Frederick Forsyth wrote what he witnessed during the war, and I didn't expect General Gowon to like his narrative because Frederick portrayed him as he was at that period. Finally, out of respect for General Gowon, who was a good friend to my late father and also my late brother-in-law, Ikemba Odumegwu Ojukwu, I shall refrain from saying much, for it will reopen old wounds, especially some sensitive issues that was raised by Ojukwu, and it was Gowon that refused to have a sincere and candid discussion with Ojukwu during his visit in UK. In Gowon's words, Frederick will now go out. And right, I came to apologize to Ojukwu. He was very nasty on that visit, especially towards Frederick, but I will leave the rest to history and all that was said. But I urge and respectfully plead with General Gowon not to alter stories to make himself appear a victor, because he feels Ojukwu is dead, and no one, not Ojukwu's children, will come to alter his wild, inaccurate stories. I was close to Ikemba in his lifetime, and as he fondly called me, my most wonderful brother-in-law. I can say a billion fantastic stories of that great son of Africa, Ojukwu, that most people haven't heard. I can tell stories from his lips to my ears that will leave a lot of people in shock. General Obasanjo remains one of very few officers he had tremendous respect for, and you can never hear Obasanjo attempting to sing like a canary in the media. So discuss their military exploits. The men and the comrades, they lost no attempt to score cheap goals by giving false narratives of fellow comrades. To go on and say, the dead don't talk, but I'm privileged to have heard him talk while alive. When you lie, you have to tell another lie to cover the first lie, then another lie, and so on. It is so much easier to tell the truth than it is to lie, because I was there, and the truth shall set you free. My brothers and sisters, this is what we are saying. Ojukwu and Gowon. In the comment section, hear what one of our own is saying. He said General Ojukwu is a chronic liar, so unfortunate at his age. And that one says, Gowon is making confession everywhere. Nobody and the spirit will forgive him in this planet Earth. No way. Well, you cannot blame Gowon. Like what Ojukwu said, that in the military you have to do the needful. If whatever you are supposed to do to defend your country, that is what Ojukwu said. What difference does that makes? If they remain enemy, why will Gowon paid him a condolence visit? Stop all this argument. Gowon is seeking forgiveness, not because is afraid, but because of his Christian belief. My brothers and sisters, this is what we are saying. It's another one saying, I think Onoh is playing a childish game here. Granted that two men find themselves enemies not on the basis of personal reasons, but later in life they met somewhere by accident within the territory of one, and the other decided to reciprocate this seeming gesture. Well, honestly, reconciliation has taken place. What does Mr. Onoh expect? A conference table that will involve both families, honors, and he is so childish in telling the public about Ojukwu's ingenuity, or on the basis that he can speak different languages. My brothers and sisters, in the comment section, you are free to say your opinion. Subscribe to this channel, share, love, like. God bless Nigeria. Thanks and God bless. Amen.